good evening, everyone. Good evening and God bless. Good evening and God bless. Welcome, welcome um, to Stop Being Broke from the Real Money Talk. My name is Michelle Otley, and I am your host or hostess. And welcome to Legacy building, legacy that is much needed. Took me a long time to turn on the camera for this. I had everything ready, had everything prepared. As you know, I just wrote my third book, as you may know, called Stop Being a Broke Christian, because I happen to also be a pastor, as well as a realtor, bookkeeper, business owner, do quite a few things. But first and foremost, I'm a child of God, and I'm going to put that in the forefront of everything that I do. Not saying that this program is created only for Christian people. It's created for all God, for everyone, because everyone has to deal with finances in their lives, and so I'm just going to put it in the capacity of people, and you will take what you need. I endeavor to continue learning and growing myself as I begin this program. I will be on once a week, preferably every Tuesday for a long session, and there will be a few short sessions in between, but once a week, every Tuesday evenings, I will be on. And with the Real Money Talk, Stop Being Broke, and where we learn to be, to do, to have, so that we can leave a legacy. It's all about legacy. You know, that's the word that the Lord placed in my spirit for this year: legacy, legacy, legacy. And everywhere I go, everything I do, this word legacy keeps coming. But in order to build a legacy, a financial legacy, you gotta do in order for you to have. So in this first session, first episode, if we want to call it, it's about legacy time. It's about learning, it's about growing. It's time to stop being broke. It's time to get to that place where we, figure out where we went wrong and how we can turn things around. And I am not here because I did everything perfect. I am here because when I was working, I was broken and broke. When I had a 9-to-5 job where I worked 15 hours a day, 24/7, always on call, and working for millionaires, working directly with them, hand in hand, helping them to open all their stores, helping them to create a great life for themselves and their families. I wasn't creating a great life for myself or my family. And I was actually living a very broke life. I was living paycheck to paycheck, borrow to borrow. Can I borrow $5 for gas? Can I borrow $20 for gas? Can I borrow $100 for groceries? And, so I am coming from real. I am coming from that place where you've lost everything, and you've lost everything because you mismanage everything. And some hard realities had to kind of shake me and reposition me to that place where I realized that, I cannot blame anyone for the mistakes that I made. I can learn from the mistakes that I made so that I can stop the generational cycles and do something different for my children and my children's children. So I'm here to talk real talk today and let you know that it's never too late to turn things around. I know sometimes as we get older, we get tired and we feel like, it's too late. What am I going to do now? I have no savings. I have no retirement. I have nothing. What am I going to do? But it's never too late to start. Once we have life, once we have breath, we can do. So I didn't grow up knowing about money and how money works. I was never taught about these things. I didn't come from wealth. I came from worry. I came from lack. I came from poverty. I came, as I said before, from paycheck to paycheck. I came from broke and broke. But I thank God for helping me to turn some things around in my life. And He continues to turn things around in my life. But one of the first things that I had to deal with is I had to admit, just like, an alcoholic, when they go to that first session, the first thing that they have to do is say, my name is so-and-so, and I have a problem, and I think most of us are very ashamed of finances in terms of not knowing, not having, and we do a great pretend game for other people because we don't want people to know where we are, what's going on in our lives. But this is not for others. This is for you tonight. If you want to build that legacy, if you want to make that change, it first comes with admitting that you have a problem. I had to admit I had a problem. And my problem is I did not know how money worked. I did not know how to budget properly. I did not know how to save. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I was living above my means. I just didn't know. And I had to admit that I didn't know in order for my life to change. I had to admit that I had a problem, and I had to start by saying it. And so I said, my name is Michelle Utley, and I have been financially lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand credit. I didn't understand saving. I didn't understand building wealth. I was winging it, and it was costing me everything. And again, I am saying we don't like to talk about money, especially when we don't have it, because of shame and embarrassment. And honestly, you feel a little hopeless, like everyone else got the rule book except you. But I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. It's just that a lot of people are not talking about what they are going through. You are not alone. I wasn't alone. I remember standing in the grocery store with my debit card being declined. I remember dodging calls from creditors. I remember feeling like no matter how hard I worked, no matter what I did, and I was working hard, nothing was coming together. Nothing. I'm talking about while I'm working. That's why I said, tonight we're going to look at, are we living paycheck to paycheck? Are we broke? I got so tired of just surviving. I really wanted to live. I wanted to have peace. I wanted to have options. I wanted to be able to help my children, my family, I want to be able to help my community. I had to face my financial truths in order to start to begin my journey on financial legacy. And so I started to ask questions. I started reading. I started learning, and eventually I started healing to the point where I could start rebuilding piece by piece, little by little. So now today I'm here, not because I have it all figured out again, but because I've been in the fire and I made it out with some wisdom that I would like to share and also gain. There are people out there who know more than myself, and there are people who are going to have questions. And I'm hoping that you will send your questions and you will send your comments to me via email, and we will be able to connect. If I can answer the questions, I will. If I can't, I will go to sources that can, and we will begin this journey together. I'm here to begin this journey with you. I had to begin the journey, and at that time, I began that journey by myself with God's help, I should say, and with reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, reading books like Richest Man in Babylon, and many other. Think and Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. So I started to read. And most of all, I started to examine myself, examine my life. You know, am I buying what I want and then begging for what I need? I did that for many, many years. I bought everything that I wanted, and then I begged friends and family for what I needed. And I know that they got really tired of me begging and borrowing. So thus I came to this place where I knew that I had to make a change, and I had to make a change fast. So this show isn't just about numbers and budgets. It's about mindset. It's about breaking the silence. It's about empowerment. Because if you can change how you see money, you can change your life, right? So here's what you can expect each week. Real talk with real people, no fluff, no judgment. We're not here to judge. We're not here to judge. No judgment. You know, the Bible tells us that we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Well, we all have had money problems, and some continue to still have money problems. That's life. You know, it will have practical tips that actually make sense. Even if you are starting, we are starting, anybody starting from zero, they can get from zero to become a financial hero and leave, again, a legacy. There will be tools to rebuild credit, things on getting out of debt, budgeting without starving, investing without, investments, just different things, different things and different stories. Hopefully we'll have some people join me who can enlighten you in different areas, people who are the financial experts, because again, let me say, I am not a financial expert. I'm here because of the things that I've been through. And I said something to someone today, and I don't know if they understood what I said when I said it. I said, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing people hurt. I'm tired of seeing people struggle. Because with the things that I do as a pastor, I see it. As a realtor, I see it. Many people wanting to purchase homes are not able to. And, and I can't help because the credit, the down payment, they don't have the down payment. And it breaks my heart. So I said, I'm tired. I'm just tired, and, seeing people, especially people who are getting older, get to that place where it's like I'm getting older and it seems like I don't have anything to show for all the years that I've toiled and worked. And so that is what brought me to this place where I said, listen, I'm going to turn on the camera. And, I ask for your patience because I am new to this. I am just going to be me, neutral, natural. I'm just going to be me. And hopefully as time goes on, I will get better and better. But basically today, I just decided to turn on the camera and, come alongside any and everyone who's ready to stop being broke, and so that we can take this journey together. I can take this journey with you. You can take this journey. Invite a friend, invite your children, invite somebody. Take this journey to, coming out of debt, coming out of living paycheck to paycheck, and having an opportunity to choose how you live, choose what you leave, choose what you drive, choose, have a choice, and realize that this platform is a safe place, and there's no shame here, only growth, only honesty, and only progress. And today I just want to challenge you right now. Take a breath. Close your eyes if you need to, and say this with me. I am not my past. I am not my bank account. I am not a failure. I am someone who is learning. I am someone who is healing. I am someone who is building, going to build, and will build and leave a financial legacy. That's where we begin. Today is your day one, not one day, but day one. So let's get into it. Let's rebuild. Let's grow. Let's get financially free. Let's get financially educated, because being broke may have been your history, but it doesn't have to be your legacy, your past, but it doesn't have to be your present, and doesn't have to be your future. It doesn't have to be what you leave for your children and your children's children. So I thank you so much for listening to my little introduction as I get into that place where I'm going to begin, this financial literacy journey with you, from stop being broke to building a financial legacy. And we guess, the first thing is admitting, hey, listen, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared in school. I wasn't prepared at home. I just had to wing it. I just had to jump right in and do it. And I made some mistakes, and we learn from our mistakes. You do not get wisdom. We do not get wisdom without experience. And sometimes the experiences are good, and sometimes the experiences are bad. But without experience, there's no wisdom. So where did all that money go that we worked for all these years? What did we do with it? Forget about that. Forget about the past. Forget about the history. Look forward into stopping being and living broke and building a financial legacy by learning and applying. Knowledge is only powerful when you apply it. I spoke to someone who, I don't know if I called him or he called me, but I spoke to someone who read my book, and he said, it's interesting read. It's a good read. He said, I thought you were going to tell me how to do certain things. And I said, I did say how to do certain things. I did say that you should start tracking your finances on a daily basis, a weekly, monthly basis. So if you're doing it daily, it will daily, so that you can know how you're spending your money. I said, did you do that? He laughed. No. I said, well, if you don't do what the book says, then how can you learn and change? So in this, we will have to do. We will have to do. In order for the change to come, there must be, okay, the definition of insanity, we've heard it a million times, right? Is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We must be so that we can do, so that we can have. We must do something different. We must think different, do different, so that we can have different. So I said to him, if you don't do it, if you don't apply it, how can you gain from it? And so with this real talk about money, if we do not do, if we do not apply, how can we learn? How can change come into our lives? Change into our bank account, change into, everything that concerns our lives, change into our children's lives and children's lives. So we may become a little uncomfortable, but in all that, it's okay, just become hopeful of change, right? Hopeful of growing to that place where you come out of just surviving and you begin to thrive. Because we have one life to live, amen? One life to live. And today I'm asking for us to do a heart check, a gut check, some kind of checking of ourselves, as to what we did wrong, why we did, And are we willing to do something different now? Are we willing to do what needs to be done to make that change? Are we willing to admit that we need to make a change? Because that's the first step in admitting that there's a problem so that you can actually work on fixing it. So again, I am just being very normal, a little nervous because this is new for me. But I'm just going to be me. I just decided, listen, I'm turning this camera on because there's too much pain and too much hurt. You know, somebody messaged me. It's like, can I get an apartment with bad credit? It's the homeless situation is increasing because it's hard out here. It's very tough out here. So I get to see, I get to hear. I've lived, and in some ways I continue to live. And so I just want to have some real money talks, but I endeavor to, that we can first realize that we have to admit and want to change, want to change the trajectory of our lives and leave a strong financial legacy. And I mean, there are things that can be done to ensure that, we talk about time and having enough time to build up wealth, because, we'll get into how to build up wealth and not just saving. Saving is not building wealth. We can talk about insurance, life insurance, leaving things, and we will talk about these things. But these are things that we don't want to talk about because we don't want to face debt. And but we face debt. DEBT, we face that, but we don't want to face debt. But if we face that, it will help us to make certain decisions, make some different choices. And so we need to talk about the things that we don't like to talk about. And basically that is some of the things that we're going to be looking at, giving ourselves permission to take control, giving ourselves permission to plan for peace, giving ourselves permission to plan for leaving something, and giving ourselves permission to stop guessing and to start deciding to do something different, to break the chains and, just make a change. Just make a change. So it's about stopping being broke. It's about learning financial literacy. It's about planning. It's about tracking. It's about budgeting. It's about life insurance. It's about everything. And we're going to get into that as time goes on. But today, I just first want us to be honest with ourselves. If we are living paycheck to paycheck, I just want us to admit that, hey, there might just be a problem, and first admittance is going to help us to come to that place where we would work on making a difference, right? Work on changing our behavior patterns and, and become self-aware so that we will be able to do that which needs to be done. Because this money situation, it's huge, it's big. And again, God give us the power to get wealth. And I have to go here because a lot of Christians believe that, and I have to say that because a lot of Christians are broke, that wealth is evil. But I dare to say that I have never seen in the Word of God, the Bible, that where it says that if you are poor, it means that you are automatically saved and you're going to make it to heaven. The Bible does not say that. We misquote the it's easier for a camel to go through the eyes of a needle than for a rich man to get to heaven. And we hold on to that, and we continue to live in lack, where God says, I promise you abundant life, and I give you the power to get wealth. And he said the love of money is evil. He didn't, you know what I mean? And so, there are so many different things that we will get into in time. So bear with me as I take this journey for you and for me, for building financial legacy, one step at a time, one day at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 month at a time, 1 year at a time, but in time. So God bless. Thank you. You can share, you can message me, you can share your thoughts, you can share your ideas, you can send questions as time goes on. I will drop the email in the description, and you can send me whatever you need to send me. But today, basically, I'm just saying my name is Michelle, and I will be your host of Real Money Talk, Stop Being Broke. It's time to build a legacy. It's time to go from being broke to building. Too many times we do not begin with the end in mind because we never even knew or understood how important the end is. We just deal with the here, we deal with the now, but there's just so much more that needs to be dealt with. And in this episode, I was hoping that, we get to that place where we admit it, we face it, and we fix it. So today, after all that I've said, it's about building a legacy, financial legacy. It's it's to stop being broke. It's about real money talk, not being ashamed, but admitting and being able to examine ourselves for change. Is where we learn to be, to do, and to have, to leave a financial legacy. So admit it, face it, fix it. God bless you. As we begin this journey, as I turn my camera on, it's time to build a financial legacy. It is time to stop living paycheck to paycheck. It is time to focus on how you will live as you get older. And it's time to focus on how your children will live when you leave, if you do not leave something. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. And hey, thanks for taking the time to spend with me as I endeavor to turn my camera on, for us to learn to live and to stop being broke. God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week, and see you next time on Stop Being Broke. I'm your host, Michelle Ockley. God bless.